Hi, everybody. My name is Jacqueline, and today I will be presenting to you on ocean dead zones. So let's get started with what are dead zones. Dead zones are areas of the ocean where organisms cannot dwell due to hypoxic, which are low oxygen conditions. These areas are typically coastal regions, including bays, estuaries, canals, harbors, etc. Deep dead zones can affect bodies of water of various sizes and can vary in duration. Observable signs of dead zones include fish kills, where dead organisms appear at the surface of the water, and what are called walkouts and jubilees, where organisms such as crabs try and escape hypoxic conditions by aggregating in shallow water. Though bizarre, dead zones are a natural phenomenon. However, they are exacerbated by anthropogenic effects such as warming temperatures and eutrophication. So let's explore the physical effects leading to dead zones, which are caused by warming conditions. Oxygen solubility in water decreases as the water temperature increases. According to Friedrich, oxygen content of surface water is highly dependent on air-sea exchange. When atmospheric conditions warm up, hypoxic conditions of surface water arise. This condition is prominent in areas with lower temperatures and at higher latitudes. Coastal seas and estuaries that are much shallower than open ocean are highly affected by warming conditions. According to Altieri, because coastal water is shallow and isolated from the open ocean, its temperature is positively correlated with air temperature. Water column stratification. So deep ocean water is already hypoxic due to a lack of photosynthetic organisms and the presence of aerobic respiration by decomposing microorganisms. According to Pitcher and Hu, deeper oceanic areas such as benthic zones depend on the mixing of oxygenated surface water through processes such as strong winds, tidal currents, ocean swells, to regenerate its oxygen content. But when the upper water column is hypoxic, this process cannot regenerate deeper columns. And further exacerbation of hypoxic conditions may arise with strong ocean haliclines and isolated bodies of water. So sea level rise. Coastal wetlands are important in the processes of nutrient absorption from watersheds. Sea level rise is an effect of warming temperatures. With a rise in sea level, coastal wetlands already depleted due to urbanization can become overrun, leading to a loss of their nutrient abatement services. So now let's focus on some of the biological drivers that can have an impact on dead zones. Malone defines eutrophication as the nutrient-rich runoff of surface water from modern agriculture into coastal regions which cause a proliferation of plant life and algal blooms. Surface algae proliferate excessively because of the rich nutrients from agricultural runoff and warming surface temperatures. Organisms that consume the algae, such as zooplankton, also proliferate. This increased biomass will live and die, and as these organisms die, they are decomposed by aerobic microorganisms. The increased metabolism of these now prolific microorganisms deplete the oxygen content of the water. This deoxygenation of the water outpaces predatory control of the algae. Predators may die from deoxygenation or flee the hypoxic water. Thus, the algal blooms are left unchecked. Additionally, the excessive algal blooms create a thick blanket of biomass at the surface, hindering light from penetrating the water. Photosynthetic organisms that live below are not able to photosynthesize and replenish the water with oxygen. So, what are some of the impacts of dead zones? According to Altieri, dead zones are increasing at an alarming rate, and discoveries of dead zones have increased exponentially in the past half century. Effects of the expansion of dead zones include loss of biodiversity, failed fisheries, and estimated 9 million tons of biomass loss, habitat loss, impacts on small fishing communities, and increased costs for mitigation. So, what can we do? We can support regenerative farming practices. Farmers can implement nutrient management techniques, conservation drainage practices, year round ground cover, and plant buffers around their fields to absorb nutrients in runoff. Very few of us in here are probably farmers, but we can implement these practices around our homes and our gardens. We can sign petitions and vote to protect our wetlands and watersheds and help restore critical habitat needed for nutrient runoff mitigation. So, what is being done currently? Currently, the EPA is collaborating with the USDA, the NRCS, the Water Research Foundation, the Source Water Collaborative, and the Tribal Water Council, and various other agencies as well. They are providing programmatic and technical support to states, tribes, and territories, and overseeing regulatory programs set by the Clean Water Act. That's not all, though. There is a lot more that they're doing, and if you would like to learn more, you can visit their website at the EPA.gov. There's my resources. Thank you all so much for listening.